Hey, fun.
Hey. So
Hey.
other than that little hiccup with the rules, glad that this wasn't like a majorly official tournament. Otherwise, that would have been embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, you had quite a bit of a run that first time. That hunter, that guy rolled you down.
Yeah, I am not a fan of Quest Hunter. Like,
I I can't believe you did win in the end, though. You did make that
yeah, I
comeback.
know. I know.
It does look like this match will consist of no druids.
Righto. Uh, so we got Fabian and Lacrap.
All right. Let's see. Go queue up. It's gonna be the warlock versus the mage. Let me mute myself and hear all the commentary.
You shall pay for your insolence.
So do you want me to do commentary here or like because I'm not sure if because like you can hear me or whatnot. Because at the moment you do seem to be getting rolled as it were.
No waves can sink the ship.
Okay, so Grim seems to be quite behind and getting rolled by casual imp warlock things. Very strong play on Lacrap side. But it does seem like there could be something Mr. Reaper and Gracious Host can do about this. And with that notorious skeleton lockdown that seems to have pervaded the meta in recent times. But it seems like Grim is relying heavily on RNG to bail him out, as whatever this comes out of this Archmage rune will likely decide much of the game, unless he does something else. I'm somewhat confused by man's Grim's plays here, but he does seem to have something else in mind. But I can't help but wonder if that was the right call, considering that softened up Belinda is going to be very dead with that Shadow Blade. We do have more standard warlock shenanigans going afoot with Lacrap. The question is, is RNGesus in Mr. Reaper's his corner, or is it in Crap's? Given the lopsided nature of Rune, I can't imagine things going well for Lacrap if Reaper drops the rune here. And it looks like he's doing it. Here we go. Wheel of Fortune, baby. That's a dead end. Those are some skeletons. Ignite. Kind of mediocre so far. That might come up. No target for that. Oh, that is huge. That is a board clear with a ping.
By my trusty wooden spoon.
Ooh, that is not gonna feel nice for the warlock there. It seems as though the main page has this more or less wrapped up, given the somewhat lackluster start, but Skeleton Mage is known to deal rather well with Imp Warlock, even if that isn't entirely what's going on with Mr. Reaper here. Don't quite have enough for the McCaw brand, but Brand Apprentice. It's borderline game for Lacrap and the Imp Warlock, unfortunately. unfortunately, depending on your perspective on Warlock in general, I'm sure there are some, well, some people who may be watching will be crushed by Warlock too many times and have a bit of a grudge against it. I know I am never one to dabble in aggro decks in the early days of the meta. I prefer to do more outlandish and experimental things. And aggro always tends to quash. So much flights are fancy, but it appears that Mr. Grim will be taking the first round.
I bring the muscle.
Unless he intends to BM here.
You win this time.
And with that, folks, the first round goes to Grim. It's up to Lacrap to turn things around. He seems to have chosen Priest against a Demon Hunter. I'm not certain how well that will go for him. Seems to have decided on a similar deck to my own. Buffed relics seem to be an interesting choice. I'm told in numbers wise that their success is limited, much to my dismay, and many others. Seems to be a standard opening on Gr1mRe4per. Shot that relic down. Ooh, missed the 3. That's got to hurt the quest first. Grim is lacking a very aggressive follow-up here, but the quest priest is behind and is forced to drop a brand. And what's this? Just hard-running Crixus? That's bold, if nothing else. And the priest just drops Ruined and dance the quest. Not looking too good options for the Discover. Probably best to pick the 6, which it seems like Lacrap is deciding on, or maybe the Whirlpool. Though honestly, given the state of things, I doubt such a late game card will. Oh, and he chooses the Whirlpool. He's hoping for this to go longer. Ooh, and that's a Relic of Dimensions with the Relic Vault. Oh, a bunch of it into another Relic Vault. Oh, he has got to be happy about that. Reaper is looking strong so far. to wonder how exactly can Lacrap come back from this? His hand is looking quite unappealing for his current board state, clogged up with a lot of cards that don't really do anything. Could coin out Light Shower, but it still leaves him without a viable Pride. And he goes into the secret playing side of things. As Reaper is carrying on. To be in a position to potentially force out the Crixus without using up its battle cry. Which is probably the best overuse we'll get out of it. Looks of it, dodgy in the silence. It's only having fairly loaded at being silenced. Quest Priest is going to wish he held on to that, especially with the tail end. Triggers the Oasis ally from that 2-mana secret generator. His name escapes me. Sketchy Stranger, I believe. And Grim is in an optimal position to drop the Zynox. Potentially swing this game further into his favor. Although he could, frankly, he has quite a few options. Weak turn by Lacrap. Down comes the 4-mana 7/7. Praise be. Dumping. Oh my good lord. Dumping and Relic Volta into the dimensions, into another Relic Volta into double Phantasms for, frankly, monstrous board that would be quite terrifying if not for that Whirlpool, which is most definitely going to be dropped with unfortunate timing for the Quest Priest, as he has yet to discover or locate a 5-drop. He's forced to burn his only 8 cost in order to survive. Interesting choice with the Glaive Shark. I personally forgot it even exists. But he's dumping the Zymox. For a second, I thought that was a kidnap, but it seems once again Things are not looking well for Lacrap. His only hope is to potentially draw off his location or discover an answer with a drive. I don't believe that's lethal on board with the desperate prayer in hand on Lacrap's side, but that Kurtrus in hand is likely has something to say about that if he can't answer it. And that is a light it burns to answer one of the 9 nines. And he's dropping the meter. I have to wonder if that is quite enough, and I don't believe it is. Kurtrus comes down, and he is. And that is all she wrote. Gr1mRe4per. Oh, and Lacrap is sticking with the Quest Priest. Given the foe against the Warlock, though, I can't help but wonder if that was a wise decision. If what I believe about this Warlock based on this hand is true, and unless this Quest Priest and Lacrap can find a suitable and near perfect curve, which so far is coming through, though he is currently lacking a 4. It will be an uphill battle to an already monumental lead taken in Mr. Reaper's favor. Reaper setting up a somewhat threatening board, perhaps trying to pry out an answer or just keep his hand size relatively contained. Dropping the shard, I can't say I follow his logic here. Yeah. Oh, That's a good play, dropping the shard and the coin to manipulate the cost of no. Oh, advancing his quest and challenging the board. Perhaps this might not be so one-sided after all. Though that remains to be seen. The 5 drop into the 6 drop coming. Things are looking very different for the quest priest this time. And a 7 in hand as well, with mutinous.
The path is clear.
Suddenly, Mr. Reaper is on the back foot, with a light shower down. Now, one must wonder if there is much he can do about this. Perhaps if he was playing a more disruptive warlock, things would be different. Not so. This time around. Though he seems to be setting up with Bran and Zola to potentially clog up the quest priest's hand. Is this an avenue to victory? We'll see what Mutanus rolls. Devouring one of the brands and perhaps limiting Reaper's options here. Indeed, how is he moving forward here? Dropping Graham. And we have a new, rarely seen if ever legendary in the Lady Darkbane. With a veritable abyssal torrent in 4 abyssal waves hidden within her shadows. Though given the full hand on the other side, one must wonder how effective that will be. Fortunately for Reaper, the quest priest is lacking an 8-drop. Though that Scorpit has fetched one. So he is still on the clock, as it were. Now it's up to Lacrap to press the advantage, which he fails to do. Reaper goes fishing for all answers with Pam's wiping away the Scorpid, filling his hand with somewhat useless bakers, given how irrelevant healing is on his side. The curse does burn the Okani, which could matter, removing some disruption on the quest side. And that is the whirlpool and therefore completion. Reaper certainly has to be feeling the crunch now. Unfortunately, Wicked Shipment does not seem like the best card for this situation. He is forced to create a somewhat subpar board while Lacrap sets it up, shuffles the Purified Shard into his deck. The I win button, as it were. And the question now becomes, can Reaper luck out and burn the shard by clogging Lacrap's hand with curses? Or will the shard make its inevitable way into play and end this before it begins? Not dropping the Thrive and potentially ripping the shard right out. Can't say that is the smartest decision, but perhaps he knows his deck better than I do. Reaper digging further, perhaps looking for something or other. Ooh, perhaps that Immolate would have been useful earlier. Could have saved himself a lot of grief. But the question now becomes, what does Lacrap burn? A simple removal, unfortunately, for Reaper. Oh, and that could be trouble. Lacrap has Finley in hand to swap his hand with the bottom of his deck and fetch
I'm undead,
his
not
Winton Shard.
dead.
Though not dropping the Thrive by the looks of it, which I can't help but find somewhat questionable. Baron Devon, interesting choice for his main deck. Does he find it? He does not. This game is still on. Though that threat is must be constantly looming over Reaper. The spectre of death looms over all of us, I suppose. Mithril Rod on Reaper's side to perhaps reduce the cost of some cards, but I can't help but wonder if it'll even matter. All the crap needs is one lucky draw. Reaper ditching more of his hand, so killing off his own minions and the impending catastrophe will draw more cards for him. He will burn one, but he does seem in a position for quite the swing. And a new burn. potentially the Shard, considering that it was once again not fair. And given that Lacrap's hand doesn't seem to be in a position to push board presence too heavily, the question becomes, will this gift of the Naru finally pull the Shard? And it does not. Every card draw, a chance at victory so far. His luck has been lacking. Looks like he is banking on a secret. And counterspell is never a bad option. Oh, and runs out the clock before he can pop his location. Has an immolate counted. So exchange. Oh! Oh, the horror! The Shard has been burned! Oh, what an upset! Oh my God, that is gonna feel really bad. The question now is, can the priest even win without the Shard? Oh dear, that is gotta sting. Seems to be reversing the roles, as it were, and healing his cultist, his Shirikes cultist, to give Reaper curses, perhaps in an act of frustration. Unfortunately, Reaper merely burned as an imp summoning card, potentially extending his deck further into fatigue, and dropping an immolate. 8. His second one, leaving the quest priest, well, now questless priest, without many options. The Elec mount is one way to push for damage, but that quest priest is not really known for going to face against a class that is known for its removal. This is unfortunately a losing battle, it seems. Going in for more card draw, easily answering the Elec mounted minion with a Siphon Soul. Though interesting, does not push the advance much further. Using the last bit of his location to buff the Elec summoned off the death rattle. Oh, Lacrap is desperately trying to push damage, though I can't imagine making your own minion easy to remove is the right call. After all, the Cursed Warlock is always going to out-curse you. dropping the second mithril rod.
Are you
Into
gonna clean
entitled
that up?
customer. Disposing of the questless priest's meager attempts at cursing him. Dear God, what an upset. This is gotta sting.
What side of the bed thou walk upon?
Though fortunately, it seems as though he has enough mana for most of the cards that will be burned by Immolate. Even if they are removal and don't really affect the board state. And Renethal, which he seems to be just throwing on the board because may as well.
Dethrone our former master.
And it appears Reaper is looking to end this, pushing down curse after curse after curse into Tamsin, the drag below, into curse, into curse. And that is game, folks.